on
steal
the
them.
ground for them.
You could see without them. You just got them so that you could read better.
Right, but it's very dark.
They don't help you
And
see in the dark.
I don't have dark vision.
Okay, well then, it is very, very hard to see with or without your glasses. So
Now is the perfect time for me to discover my latent powers of echolocation.
okay. What was that noise?
I'm straining to discover my latent powers.
Okay. So when you say you're straining, are you making a loud noise to try and have it echo out, or are you just?
No, it's just kind of the clinching sound that
Okay.
your voice makes when you're pushing out a big one.
Okay. You are clenching and making a little sound, but you don't seem to be shooting out echolocation rays, which will bounce off the surface and come back to you. You do notice that you are covered in vomit, piss, and shit, though.
Well, it's college all over again.
Mm-hmm. It's like in speckled patterns, so you're guessing because you were spinning wildly,
Oh
it
my
probably
God.
didn't like soak into you necessarily in like a puddle, but just like shot over you in like an artistic sort of.
Yeah, it's kind of like art, actually. I wish
Yeah,
someone was here to
smells terrible.
take a picture of me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get to my feet and I'll start just put my hands out in front of me and start feeling out for a wall or something.
So you start to wander a little bit, and you do feel on your left side a very cold stone wall. It feels like, and it seems like you're running parallel or walking parallel to this wall. So you continue onward, and you feel after maybe 100 feet, it's hard to tell, that there's like a corner.
Okay, I'm gonna very, very carefully take the corner. I'm
Okay.
gonna shuffle my feet, like not pick them up, but shuffle them,
Okay.
so that if I go over an edge, I'll feel it before I actually go over the
So you're
edge.
turning around the corner, not going straight.
Right, I'm turning
Okay.
the corner.
So
I'm just hugging that wall.
sure. So when you turn the corner, you can see in the distance this very faint light that is illuminating edges of things around where you are. You can't really get a whole lot of details. The ground is also very uneven and it's kind of crunchy as you walk. Even when you're shuffling, it's very hard to shuffle because the ground is so uneven.
Oh no.
But you can. And like I
Okay,
said,
I'll when I start feeling the crunch,
mm-hmm.
I will bend down and make sure that they're not bones under my feet.
Oh, it's definitely bones.
Are they getting higher and higher as I go?
No, they seem pretty level as you're
Okay.
walking. When you feel down, you feel it's like a full-on adult humanoid-sized skull,
Oh.
missing the lower jaw. You put that
Mhm.
down and you feel around in the immediate vicinity around it. It's just all kinds of different bones. Some of them are skulls. Some of them are like femurs, like rib cage, like all kinds of different bones they're just piled up, and that's literally what this road seems to be, or this path seems to be paved out of. Not even paved. They're just there. That's your path. It's made of bones.
It's like a gravel driveway, but instead of gravel, it's bones.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So you see a very faint light in the distance down this street, but you do have enough light that you can make out features of walls and things like that. So you can move without holding onto the wall, I would say, if you didn't want to do that.
I'm going to be as stealthy as possible.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
Oh, all right. 20 dirty.
You are very quiet. I mean, it's still a little crunchy and noisy
bones.
as
It's
used
bones.
as bones, but you're not making like a ton of noise. You also notice that even when you were making a little louder crunches, there doesn't seem to be any echo. Like it's like the sound just dies, like a sound studio. It doesn't go anywhere.
I'll keep moving towards the light, but I'll be on guard for any movement or anything like that.
Okay, this light has to be thousands of feet in the like ahead of you. It's very far away. And as you continue onward, you start to get more and more features of the area as you continue forward and get closer to the light because the light is a little brighter so you can see more things. This seems to be some sort of if you were to say the ruins up top that you fell out of were more of a sort of regal or high end, these are definitely sort of like the slummy areas, I would say, like very run down, crumbling infrastructure, that sort of thing. But you also notice lots of gouges in the walls, slashes, cuts, chunks of wall missing. So something happened down here, probably you're guessing, which is causing the massive amount of bones as you continue on this path.
So these are the dirty, unwashed masses that I'm wading through right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the poor bones.
The poor.
Got it.
Well, I mean, they could be from up top too. You don't know, but at least that's what this area looks like. It definitely looks like it's more of a. It's not nearly as the architecture does not look as nice as it did up top. Up top, it was like very clean and precise Gothic architecture. Down here, much more rounded, simplistic shapes. The buildings are much more simplistic. It's still that same sort of blackish material, but not shiny, more of a dull color. So that's what you're getting.
Okay.
So you can keep continuing forward, I assume.
I do.
And it takes you a few hours of walking at this slow, shuffly pace so as not to make too much noise. And you see where the light is coming from. And it appears to be a building in the middle of a crossroads. This building looks like... You know what? Roll me an intelligence check.
I can do that. Oh. 12.
Okay. Well, there is a device on the front of the building that kind of looks like a clock. Kind of, but not like any clock you've ever seen. There's also writing on the wall, like it looks like some sort of store or something along those lines, and it's in a writing you've never seen before. Do you have, what's that spell that Phil uses? Interpret language.
Comprehend
comprehend
languages?
language, yeah.
I don't have any spells. I'm a rogue. I'm not an arcane trickster.
Okay. So it's in a language that you don't recognize. But it looks like there is a top, like above where the clock is, or this clock, like whatever it is, there's a circular piece of glass, and that seems to be where the light is emanating out of and like down the street. And then you also see it sort of coming out of the door that's at the bottom. There's a pair of double doors in the front of the building, and the light is down the center crack and then also through the base of the door stretching outwards towards you.
It's still just like a straight gulch. There's nowhere for me to hide behind or any corners or anything like that.
So I'll say that you are on one side of the crossroads. You are on the side opposite of where this clock shop is. When you get to the clock shop, it turns into like a Y shape, so the road veers to the left and to the right at an angle around this building. But that's what seems to be in front of you. In terms of things to hide behind, there are debris, stone, things like that may have fallen, especially with the commotion that's going on up above, or was going on up above, that is in the street. You could you're on the smaller side for a turtle anyways, so you could probably hide behind that.
So what I want to do is I want to hide from the view of the double doors to the clock shop.
Okay.
And so I want to take the hide action and do that.
Okay.
And then what I want to do is I want to pick up some bones.
Okay.
And I want to just kind of chuck some bones over there, make a little noise, see what happens.
Like, do you want to chuck it in the vicinity, or do you want to hit the building with it?
I don't want to hit the building. I guess I should hit the building. Let me hit the door with a bone.
Okay.
And then just kind of watch and see what happens.
Okay. You toss a bone over there, clinks off the building, the door specifically. Nothing seems to change. The light is still like a palish white light, maybe a little tinge of blue in there, but it doesn't fluctuate, doesn't change, doesn't move. You don't hear anything. aside from the bone sort of scattering around till it hits the ground and stops. And then it just goes back to being very, very quiet.
I'll stealth over to the door and do a little peek-see under it.
Um, so it's a very small crack between like the bottom of the door and the floor, so it's very hard to see anything. Roll me a perception check, and also the light's coming through it, so it's a little blinding. But
14.
14. So you can see that this room appears to be filled with strands of some kind, and just from the angle that you're at, you can't really see anything above like not even a foot off the ground. It does look like there are multiple shelves, a desk in the far distance. Yeah, everything looks very dirty, dingy, cobwebs all over the place, but that's about all you can see from down below. You do see some bones in this building, but not nearly as many.
It doesn't look like anybody's been in here in a while.
No, you don't see any It looks very dusty, so you don't see any footprints or anything.
Very carefully go inside.
Okay. Roll me stealth to open this door carefully and quietly.
Oh, so quiet, 16.
Yeah, that's pretty quiet. You slowly the door open, and
I make the sound too.
There you go. And you notice that, so as soon as you go in, this is those devices that you saw on the front of the building, they seem to be... Hold on. They're just making fucking noise upstairs, so I'm telling them to shut the fuck up.
I thought that was for me. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
No, because it's literally showing up on the damn microphone. Or just go outside. Just go the fuck outside.
There's dog poop out there.
No, there isn't. I cleaned it up like a day ago.
Somewhere outside there's dog poop.
There's probably somewhere outside there's dog poop. So when you open the door, you're standing in the threshold of this room, and you see there are shelves on either side of this room, and it's sort of a roundish looking room where it's very dusty, very cobweb. It's very hard to see what's in them, but it looks like similar devices as to what's on the front of the building, but they're obviously very derelict at this point. And there's a desk across the room from you, about 30, 40 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back of this room, behind the desk, about maybe 5-10 feet away from the desk, there's a staircase that goes up. And that light seems to be coming from above. And when you look up, the ceiling has a hole in it, like by design. It's not like it was rotted or anything like that. And there seems to be a spinning white crystal where light's pouring out. The other thing that you notice everywhere is that there are little silken strands going in every different direction all over the place. And there is a dark figure slumped over behind the desk at the far end of the room. You can't make out any features. The light doesn't seem to be illuminating it at all, so you don't know what it is. But it definitely has like a mounded shape to it, and it's definitely sitting behind the desk. But it's not moving. And like I said, just all kinds of these silken strands all over the place in this room. You thought they were like cobwebs when you were looking under the door, but you can see that they are ceiling to floor in like all kinds of different directions. So it's like a laser grid in a movie, you would think, like a spy movie or something like that.
Hey, hello, hi.
So you say that out loud?
Yes.
You see the mounded figure sort of like jerk a little bit, like a head cocks to the side a little bit, and then you hear like a clicking noise.
Oh shit!
And you notice that as this figure starts to sit up, again, you can't really make out a whole lot of features at this point. You notice that all of these appendages also start to raise up that were lifted. It looks like there are at least 8, but there could be
Fucking
more.
spider. Oh,
Uh,
shit.
And you just see 2 glowing eyes.
I don't
It
suppose you.
doesn't move. It's just sitting there.
I don't suppose you want to be friends.
And you notice that sort of making themselves known into the light are 2 humanoid-shaped appendages that look like hands, but much more bony and clawed on the end of the fingers. And with a wave of the hand, a chair in front of his desk. And then the hand just motions towards the chair. And then the 2 hands come together and the claws are just tick, 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 tick.
Can I insight this? See
Sure.
what kind of vibe I get?
What would you like? Sure. What's, yeah.
I want to see if this, I want to, like, does this feel threatening to me? Like, would I be really, really stupid for sitting in this chair?
Roll me insight.
Oh, right. That is a 25.
You definitely get creepy vibes. Obviously this looks like some sort of spider thing, but is also humanoid. And obviously it seems to be intelligent because it understands you, and apparently also has some sort of magical powers because it can move chairs just by waving a hand or an appendage. And it's super creepy.
Super creepy. Well,
you also don't know if you could run away, really, if you wanted. Like, you don't know, A, if it can move. And if it can move, it's got a lot of limbs. Could it catch you? Maybe. You also can't see in the dark very well.
If I come over to that chair, am I going to disturb your little array here?
He doesn't say anything.
Is it okay if I cut these? Can you give me a thumbs up if it's okay if I cut these? Because I don't want to get stuck in them.
Just keeps tapping the long nails together
on
its hands.
All right, look.
It doesn't look like they are, like strands of steel or anything like that. They still look like they're webbing. So they may. I mean, you could test it out. You could try and put your hand through it. Like how
I'm gonna put my hand through one and see if they like it gets caught or if it just kind of snaps.
It just snaps but sticks to you. So it's just like hanging off. It's very hard to get off. It's very sticky.
All right. I'll
start.
I'll start slowly making my way, putting my hands in front, making sure not to get too many strands on my body at the same time. And while I'm walking, I would say, I want to be very honest with you. I've never seen anything like you, and I'm extraordinarily creeped out right now.
So roll me a dex just to see if you can manage to not get covered in silk.
Oh shit.
I mean, it should be your best stat, so.
Yeah, it actually is. It is 14.
So let me get this straight. You say shit when you roll a 14. Okay.
Well, I rolled a 9. I rolled a 9, and then I added...
What a low number that 14 is.
Oh, well, you know.
So you go over. This chair seems to be made of stone of some sort. And it is like a obsidian, I would guess. It's very shiny.
Will it make accommodations for my shell, or am I going to have to sit side saddle on this fucker?
You could probably sit in it because the chair is much bigger than you are, so you'll probably have some backing. And so when you're sitting down, you really get an idea of the scale of this thing. And, like, it towers above you. If you're guessing, this thing is sitting down at a height of like 8 feet, and then the appendages go in further. So it's quite big, and those eyes are very glowy. And it snaps a finger, and all of a sudden these sconces of reddish, bluish light just around the room and illuminate its form. The white light does not really seem to illuminate it very much, but this light does. And you notice that you still can't see its face very well, just the eyes that are glowing, but you definitely get a sense of the body structure of this thing, like a chitinous armored body, still kind of on the skinnier side, but very jagged looking edges and features to it. It's like a grayish, blackish color, and it's very wet. It's very moist looking, not dripping with goo or anything like that, but it definitely looks wet for whatever this is. Welcome, Clancy.
Oh, I was about to introduce myself, but it appears you already know me. That's
I know all
unnerving.
about you.
Oh, do you now?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And with that, we're going to take a break. And we're back. All right. So you are sitting across from this spider monster, or whatever this thing is.
Well, you have me at a disadvantage. What's your name?
Oh, I've had many, many names over the years, Clancy, but you
can give me the latest.
You can just call me the Spider.
That's very vague. It's okay, the Spider.
Yes.
Or do you go by the?
Whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable, Clancy.
Okay, Mr. The.
Sure. Never heard anyone say Mr. and then the first name unless it's children talking to. But I suppose with our age difference, you are but a child.
I mean, it's a way people talk to each other down south.
Sure. So, Clancy, what brings you to my humble abode?
I fell.
I gather
very, very far.
Yes, but why did you come here, to my home?
It was the first light I saw, and I thought maybe there was somebody friendly in here who could help me get back to my friends.
I'm very friendly, Clancy.
I see that you are. You want to be friends with my other friends, too? We can go now.
Oh, you mean Fleeta and Gizzard and Scrothor?
Yes, those.
Yes. Now, I would rather not be friends with any of you. You are
well,
all terrible, terrible people.
That is correct. I can leave if you'd like me to.
Oh, no. Please stay. And the door slams closed. He's like, I insist. No, I'm going to give you every opportunity to go back to your friends.
Okay.
You see, they've long left you by now. You are quite separated from them.
That sucks.
More than you even really realize.
Uh-huh.
But I can return you to them. I have that ability. I have the power to do that.
Okay.
But it has been a long time since I've been able to converse with anybody. So I'm going to enjoy a few moments before I acquiesce to your wishes, I suppose.
Sure, let's chew the fat. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Maybe outside of one or two people that I've ever had the pleasure of speaking to anybody quite as evil as you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a liar.
Oh, no, Clancy. You've done terrible, awful things. Do you think you went to hell because you are a liar?
I just assumed everybody went there.
No, not everybody. Maybe in this area, but not everybody. Clancy, why do you think you went to, hell?
Well,
What's the worst thing you ever did?
I mean, I might have made a small career out of facilitating an evil man's violent regime over an entire continent.
I mean, that didn't help things, I'm sure. But was there anything else you did? What got you killed?
When I was 6, I told my mom she looked fat in a dress.
Well, the truth, is never a sin. No, I'm more talking about why were you killed? What did you do to draw the ire of your employers?
Oh, well, I had a crisis of conscience. It won't happen again.
A crisis? Now, that's interesting that you put it that way, because to my recollection, the way I remember it occurring is that you were cooking the books and you were siphoning off money and making things go certain ways so that you profited.
Right.
Yes. So I have a sort of philosophical question for you, Clancy.
Uh-huh.
If your actions lead to terrible, terrible evil, but you are just unaware at the time of what they were going to lead to. Were your actions truly evil?
Oh, I'd say that intention matters a great deal.
That is interesting. It is a shame that the universe does not see it that way.
Yeah, fucking consequentialists. What are you going to do?
And like he hacks a little bit when he coughs, and like little tiny spiders just skitter across the table, and
Oh.
the clawed hand like very swiftly slams down in front of you and catches them, and then
Oh.
just scoops them back up into the darkness under the eyes, and then they disappear, and then the hands come back out.
Worried about empty nest syndrome, are we?
Mm-hmm. So, you know, Clancy, I feel that it wouldn't necessarily be fair to just give you what you want. I would like to play a game with you.
I love games.
But I would like to give you a choice of game.
Okay.
Would you like a game of chance or a game of fate?
Chance or fate? What's the difference?
I can't tell you the rules until you pick the game.
No, between chance and fate.
I know.
You said the same thing twice.
What are you talking about?
There is no fate. It's all chance. It's all chance. And the choices you make. So why not make them in your favor?
That is one way that people like to look at things. But considering I am the purveyor of fates, one might seem, I would say that fate is very much set. But you are right to some extent. Your choices do make a difference, as each choice then leads to a different outcome, but all of it is already preordained. Each of these strands in this room, as you see, they're just all ending at the same place, but different journeys to get there.
Well, so from what you've said, there's no chance.
No, there is. It's a game of chance or it's a game of fate.
You said everything is preordained, so there is no chance.
I'm going to ask this question one more time, or I'm going to pick the game chance or fate.
You asked if we could play one game, not
Yes.
two. So I'm not going to play your choosing game. You pick the game you want to play.
I choose fate.
All right, let's do it.
And from under the coat comes a smaller appendage with a deck of cards. And these cards are black. They have various white features, but there is a gnarled, looks like a skeleton mixed with a spider on the like the back end of the cards. And
that's normal.
You're pretty sure that these are shaped like tarot cards.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, the cards sort of fly up in the air, and all the appendages that are behind him are shuffling the cards back and forth and separating them into piles. So there are 6 piles when they all fall on the table in front of you. And this spider creature wipes the dust in a streak in front of you, like side to side, and then puts the 6 piles out. Choose 1 card in each stack of 10. So there are 6 stacks, 10 cards in each stack. Choose a card in each one.
All right. I will randomly roll for each one.
That's fine.
So 0 to 9 or 1 to 10, right?
Yeah.
So on the first stack, I will take the 6th card.
Okay.
On the second stack, I will also take the 6th card.
Okay.
On the third stack, the 4th.
Okay.
On the 4th stack, the 3rd.
Okay.
On the 5th stack, the 3rd.
Okay.
And on the final stack, the 8th.
The 8th. All right. Let me pull up my resource here real quick.
And just so you know, Clancy will actually physically take a die out of his pocket and roll it for that game of fate, huh?
Take a die out of his pocket?
Yeah, he'll have a little die in his pocket to roll. to
Oh,
pick
okay.
those numbers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And he'll say, I thought this was a game of fate.
It is Clancy.
Well, that's chance right there, right?
That's
If
what
it's
you
real.
I was literally looking at it earlier today. Why is it not the first option? Sorry about this. Literally pulled it up earlier.
That's okay.
And reversals. Summon a bitch. Where the fuck is this fucking... Okay, finally. God damn. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get these situated. So, when the creature pulls the decks away, it doesn't look like he pulls the specific card that you say out. He just moves the stack, and the card that you picked stays behind.
Right.
6. Okay, so there's this one. Get that shit out of my face. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's this one. Get this shit out of my face. 1, 2.
Don't put shit in your face, Dennis. It's not good for you.
Well, I do what I want. Get this shit out of my face.
I'm telling your mom.
So you could go ahead and tell that bitch.
Oh, wow.
I hate my mom.
Wow.
She's terrible.
You know what wow upside down is?
Wow, mom?
That's right.
Yep. Fuck her. Let's see here. 3. And then the last one was 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So then you see that he has the cards laid out in like 3 by 3, but the middle card in the front and back is either further towards you or further away, so it makes like almost like a diamond shape with the cards.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. And you notice that he spins. Oh, and then front or back.
I'm a front kind of guy.
So he takes the cards that are closest to you and he spins them upside down.
Okay.
And then he flips over the first card. Queen of Pentacles is what it is. Now, the queen is, it looks to be it's a big-titted skeleton lady for some reason.
Hot.
Yep. And
I've got a boner.
And it looks to be worshiping some sort of pentacle shape. So it's weird.
What is a pentacle?
Is a pentacle like a pentagram? Pentacle
Okay.
is like a pentagram in a circle, it looks like. Anyways.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's based on this thing. They say wands. I don't want wands. I want the fucking... I don't want wands. Why is it only wands? Oh, okay. I gotta keep scrolling. Fucking idiot. Pentacles. Of course, it's the last fucking one. This card tells me that you are self-centered, jealous, and smothering.
You didn't need a card to tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll see that these cards will tell a story in the end. Fucking Knight of Pentacles? I shuffled the fuck out of these cards, and all I'm drawing are pentacles. Okay. Lazy, obsessive. I don't agree with the work with that.
Yeah, lazy, I don't think so.
The knight is like it's like a death knight. It's a skeletal knight riding on the back of this warped skeleton horse. Again, holding this weird pentacle. It's just a giant pentagram coin. I swear to God, if this third card is a fucking pentacle.
If the third card is a pinnacle, I'm going to get it tattooed on my shell.
It's not. It's the Emperor. So let's see. Back up to the top. The Emperor. Tyranny, rigidity, and coldness. Yes, I would say these sum you up to a T.
Yeah. I'll own those.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as your back cards go, these are the good stuff. First one is the Page of Cups. Whatever the fuck that is. Like, what is that? The Secretary of Cups. But basically, it's a skeleton. Looks kind of happy. He's holding a big ass cup, and there's a little bony fish sticking out of it.
Look at him go.
Yeah. And happy surprise, dreamer, and you're very sensitive, which that all tracks as well.
Yeah.
Second to last, fucking pentacles.
I'm getting tattooed.
Ace
I'm getting a
of
pentacle tattoo.
Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. Now, this one is literally just a skeletal hand holding that weird pentagram coin. Opportunity, prosperity, and new venture.
That's what I've been on.
That's not a real card. It's just got a fucking, was it a 6 of Cups?
You got a Joker.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't.
Every other bicycle brand tarot
every
card.
other card says what it is, but this one doesn't. So I'm gonna guess it's a 6 of Cups. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna draw a different card.
How many cups are there?
Okay. Here we go. The World.
Zawarudo.
The World. Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Edward. I am dog lady. Edward. The World.
I thought you were doing like a Latino Twilight. Eduardo.
No,
I am Bella.
Mr. Eduardo is no home.
Oh, no.
Mr. Superman is no home. Fulfillment and harmony. He goes, And he's like, he taps his clawed fingers on the end of the desk. And he's like, well, as per usual, your life seems to be nothing but self-centeredness and fulfillment, and the only joy that you get is from your own personal gain and from nobody else prospering but yourself.
Uh-huh.
So, he pulls from underneath his cloak a pistol.
Oh.
This pistol looks like it's made of bone, except for certain spots that are like gnarled metal. But like the barrel is made from some type of bone, the handle is a bone, but the gun mechanisms seem to be like the middle portion seems to be more this weird gnarled black charred looking metal. And he goes, okay, so since you want to prosper so badly, he takes the gun and he pulls out the barrel, or the drum, I should say, and puts a single
the cylinder,
silver cylinder, the spinny part.
The spinny part. The spinny boy.
I thought it was the barrel, but I guess that's not the barrel. That's the
cylinder.
Yeah, cylinder. Pulls out the cylinder and puts in a single silver bullet.
Neat.
And then spins it, and then puts the gun in front of you.
Oh.
And goes, this is your chance to prosper.
I thought it was my fate to prosper.
It is.
Okay. You see, we need to really define our terms with chance and fate here, because I think you've confused chance and fate. I literally have a 1 in 6 chance to shoot myself in the head, not a 1 in 5 chance. Or not a 1 in 6 fate.
If you want to look at it that way, I suppose that is a way to look at it. For someone such as yourself, an accountant, that is the way that you would look at it.
Well, like we said, couldn't have gone any other way, and I'll pick up the gun and put it in my mouth and pull the trigger.
All right. Roll a d6.
All right. 4.
So if our die had matched, it would be the bullet.
Right.
And I rolled a 5.
So close.
You were very close. So it clicks. And when you pull the gun out of your mouth, you look down and you notice that the gun is just turned into a shit ton of little tiny spiders that are crawling down your arm. And it leaves you with a very chilling sensation, like your skin is being frozen as they skitter across it.
Well, I guess there's not much I can do about this.
And then he motions towards the staircase that's behind him, and you hear and a door opens above, and that white light pours down. And he says, "Go up there and touch the crystal, and you'll be with your friends again."
Thank you.
Sure.
I hope this was fun for you.
Oh, it was something to kill the time, I suppose, but you and I will see each other before too long.
Why?
Because you're always going to end up back here at some point, Clancy.
What? Am I? You know what? I'll figure it out later. Have a good one.
Sure. And so you head up the stairs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when you're behind him, he does not appear to shift. He's not watching you. He's not moving. He literally just stays still in the position that he was sitting in as you move around behind him. And when you're like moving up the stairs and looking down, you see all those like spider appendages all jutting out of like a central location on his back. But again, you couldn't get a whole lot of features because he's kind of cloaked. He has some like raggedy cloak thing going on behind him.
I'll put my first foot on the stair and I'll pause and I'll look at him.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
I'm a really bad guy.
That is an understatement.
Well, we're agreed. Is killing Tom the right thing?
I leave that for you to decide, if you even can.
No fate but what we make.
Sure.
I'll climb the stairs.
Okay. So you climb the stairs, and it is a very different looking room from where you were before. This looks like you're on the inside of one of the mechanisms that is like on the side of the house. Like there's all kinds of gears and inner working, and it's all still moving. Not that you understand what any of it means, but there are many, many moving parts. There are no strands of silk. There are no webbing up here, nothing like that. But at the center of this contraption, there is this white crystal that seems to be just suspended in midair, and it's just slowly turning and spinning. And it's putting out this very bright white light in all directions.
I'll touch it.
Okay. So you move through the gears. They're not moving super, super fast. So it's not very hard. You don't have to do any dex checks or anything like that. But you just sort of sidestep and move through these various levels of moving gears until you get to the center area. And you feel like a bit of a warmth coming off of this crystal. Like you've been very cold this entire time, but you're getting like a warmth coming off of this. So you definitely don't get any sort of nefarious things. And like right before you're about to touch it, you just hear sort of echoing out from below, "Happy hunting."
Hey, can I take some of these spiders with me?
You don't get a response.
Fine.
Touch.
I touch the crystal.
Okay. You touch the crystal, and all of a sudden you feel yourself being pulled inside of it, like somebody grabbed you by the waist and like the belt and just pulled really hard, and like your back, like the top of your head goes back and your legs sort of buckle the other way, and you're being folded in on yourself as you're pulled into this crystal, and you are flung through this almost feels like lightning looks anyways. It's very like jagged and all over the place, but very quick, and it's white and it's blinding. And you feel as though you're being zipped around in all kinds of different directions, but you have no control over where you're moving or going. The spider guy did tell you you could get back to your friends. You're getting a sensation in your mind of this will take you wherever you want to go. You just have to think about it. So, do you want to go back directly to where your friends are? Not that you know where they are at the moment. Or do you want, or is there someplace else you'd rather go?
No, let's go meet up with them.
Okay. So you get that thought in your head. You're thinking of your friends, Felita, Scrothor, Gizzard, and you're zipping around, and all of a sudden, everything goes dark. And it almost feels like you're hearing somebody speaking on the other side of a wall. Like there are sounds coming from the distance, and it sounds like they're getting louder, and you're moving towards it, but much slower. Almost like you're coming up out of the water, and you're hearing somebody outside the water as you're about to break the surface of this. And as you're breaking the surface to back into the room, that's where we're going to bring other people back in. So let me text them. Come back down. Come back down. How you doing, Steve?
I'm a little freaked out.
Okay.
Oh, how's Steve doing?
Sure.
Steve's hydrated.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't really dig a whole lot deeper into the whole, like, when he asked you the philosophical question of if you do things without realizing the consequences of the actions, are they truly evil? You just kind of let that one, like, nah.
Well, no, I completely disagree with that.
I know, but, like, you didn't dig into, like, what is he talking about?
Oh. Well, I didn't know I could. He just asked me a question. I answered it.
You could have asked a follow-up.
Well, he asked me a question. I answered it.
What? What are you looking at me like that for? I gave you time to eat and poop, whatever weird knocking shit, guitar playing you're doing upstairs.
Whatever weird eating and knocking guitar playing?
I don't know. I heard somebody knocking.
Somebody was at the front door.
Toe tap.
Nope, it was too methodical.
Yeah, they knocked really ribbed. Yeah.
Go away.
We were having a romp upstairs.
Uh-huh.
Good old-fashioned hoedown. Hootenanny.
We were doing actual show work, thank you very much.
Did you pick a song? Is that
That's what we were working on until
Let's
we were
get down
screamed
to
at.
biz.
You could do it outside.
After you screamed at us, we went outside. We didn't want to make Daddy angry anymore.
It was coming in through the mics, so.
There's a nicer
tink.
way to say your message.
Fresh Maine lobster.
Like that. You could have just said that. And we
Fresh
would've
Maine
known.
lobster, and you would have known
We
exactly
would have known
what
to
it is, yeah.
stop knocking.
So, Gizzard and Felita, you guys have the Marif, like, don't you have, one of you has him, like, by the throat or something like that? I know you're, like, behind him with a gun, and he's talking to you, you're talking to him, but I forget if one of you has him in your, like, grip.
I think Gizzard does.
Oh, I do. I was going to say, if it would be anyone, it would be Felita.
Sure.
But yes, I've got him in me clutches.
Okay. And you just got done basically saying, Felita, I believe, something along the lines of, yeah, we may have ruined this town, but that doesn't give you the right to rat us out, kind of thing.
That's what we said.
Perception check.
Okay.
Not great, sir.
Immediately.
An 11.
Okay.
It's a 13 on the die, so plus something.
Sure, plus something. Either way,
16.
Felita, you definitely notice. Gizzard, you kind of notice. The wall to your left starts to deform, and like it almost looks like a face is forming through the wall and like pushing it out, like the old Freddy Krueger or the Poltergeist, that sort of thing. Like the wall is stretching, and there's like a face coming through the wall.
Like the Demogorgon.
Kind of, yeah.
I thought you said like the Democrats.
Like the Democrat. As it comes through your walls and steal your
While you're
votes.
sleeping.
Yes. No, so, yeah, that's what you notice. It's not but it's on the small side. It's like 3 feet tall.
Okay.
I'm going to move.
It's like a child-sized.
Can I come out the basement yet, Paul? I swear I'll stop listening to that devil's music.
But, like, it definitely looks like it has hands, and it's, like, feeling its way through, like, it's what it feels. You don't see any features yet. It's just the wall is deformed and in this weird misshapen small humanoid shape as it moves. And the Marif's just like, what the fuck is that?
Are there any chairs near me?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick up a chair and like put it against this shape and just try and push it back into the wall.
All right, strength.
I was gonna put
Okay.
the Merif's face down near it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well,
All we wanted to
that is a
do
botch.
Oh, okay.
was to support local businesses.
So when you go to push the chair, put the chair up against this figure, instead what happens is you slip, the chair falls out of your hand, and you fall forwards, and you are now face to face touching this thing, and like
Oh, God.
it's like close up. It has no eyes or features. It's just sort of like moving around, all gross like, with like an open mouth, and then all of a sudden, pops, and there's Clancy.
Why were you
Oh.
trying to put me back in there? There's spiders in there.
Listen, something comes through the fucking wall, you're gonna try and push it back in.
I didn't know I was coming through a fucking wall. What's your fucking problem? How do you
All right,
how do you walk through
everyone,
walls?
Calm down, Clancy. It's nice to see you survived the devil.
Did I?
Yeah, also that.
Clancy.
Congratulations for outrunning death one more time, buddy.
Clancy, you're definitely, it appears as though that you're now in the living room or study of the Merif's house from Dwarf Town.
Look who I've got by the ball collars.
Whoa, why are you grappling our former employer like that?
He's the one that showed us out to Smiling Tom, you see.
We were sold out to Smiling Tom a long, long time ago.
This most recent time though,
Yeah,
at the
like
cave,
last
that
week.
time
Drop
when he knocked me out and then he took me.
Well, we did, take this town for everything it was worth.
That's what I said.
What? Yeah, but
I mean, contractually and legally, but yeah, I mean, he was upset. It's fine. Put him down.
Very poor choice of words.
And it's
Oh no, you have him. Oh, my God.
he's holding him.
I thought we were in the living room.
I'm going to suplex him and put him into a sleep.
You're gonna suplex him?
I just want to give him an old, maybe I got him by the throat, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to choke slam him to sleep.
Like actual
Whoa,
sleep
whoa,
or
whoa, whoa,
eternal
whoa,
sleep?
wait. Before you do that,
Sleepy time tea.
Let the dice decide.
Row out to the deep ocean and
Strength?
distraction. Stop him, please.
Clancy.
Move
Roll it.
here.
roll it.
yes, Clancy's.
Before that, do you know exactly what he said to Smiling Tom?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm glad you're back.
Well, Marif, have at it. Explain yourself. What exactly did you tell Smiling Tom about us?
I told him what you've been telling me out loud this whole time, that you're trying to put a robot army together to kill Smiling Tom.
Okay, all right. Did you tell him where the robot army is being produced?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why, you have nobody to blame but yourself for the destruction of your own town.
He didn't destroy the whole town.
He just destroyed your last remaining lucrative business.
Well, yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. I mean, to
I
be
guess
fair,
I could
the
because it's
townsfolk-
objectively true.
The reason I'm packing up, A, was to get away before you guys possibly showed up, but B, the town's not happy with me either because, yeah, they killed the mech smith and they kidnapped the two magical smiths. So, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of businesses left.
So what you're saying is putting you into eternal sleep would bring us back into good graces with the people who live in this village.
It would be a very small baby step start.
I've got a fellas. I've got a tingling in the back of my skull, a longing, if you will,
You could have taken care of that in the underworld.
for the power of democracy. I feel like the townspeople should decide what happens to him and how it happens to him.
And with that, we're going to call it. So thanks for tuning in. Check us out next time.
Everybody here in chat? Sorry, T. T didn't have to come back.
No, really, Paul. I've given up the devil's music. Please let me out the
I'll
basement.
let you know when you're done with that basement. Once you turn off that Mulan soundtrack.
I'm so hungry, Paul.
Everyone here in chat, stick around. We're going to take a quick break again. Tristan has to pee for some reason.
Always has to pee.
We're going to do a second episode, all right? You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitch at Botched Podcast. This episode, Botched, was brought to you by the Patreon producers, the OG Lone Ranger, Big Jim, the Nuck, Lord Chronic, Skinnerd, B-Mel, Shanda Panda, Disgruntled Furniture, Chris Wisdom, Zukari, Scabby Goose, Lost Limey, Sapper Supreme, God King Shanda Panda.
No.
God King Red Panda. Sorry. Very close.
Praise him.
Praise them.
Praise
them.
And old swamp ass. You want to support the show financially? You can head on over to a bunch of dumb websites. FreedomValleyHorsePace.com, DickBlood.me, DickBlood.club, Cornhub.icu, SexWithWookies.com, PigRickets.com, MookMook.com, BuyTheseViagra.com, LouisianaPocketGopher.com, DamnYouDennis.com, BirdsWithPenises.com. Anybody write down the new one?
There's a new one?
Yeah, Big Jim just bought us a new one last week.
Jim's going crazy.
What was the one that we were doing? It was something about lizards or some shit?
No.
Piss lizards.
It
Like,
wasn't lizard.
I think it was lizard something. And then I blamed it on Jenna because Jenna wasn't here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll find it during the break. Or simply patreon.com/Botch Podcast, like our newest patron, God King Red Panda Bash. You want to support us but can't do it financially? That's no problem. Just head on over to iTunes. Certainly you guys have done that now. It takes 5 minutes to make your password fixed, and Chonky won't get punched. Let me check your... Nope, sorry, Chonky. We don't have anything new. It takes a lot of time and effort to make these free shows for you, and all we ask is you to sign into your Apple Podcast and leave us a 5-star review, saving bruises for my friend here.
His hands are so big.
Thank you to Gozer for intro and outro music. More of them over at Gozer_music or Gozer on Spotify. Their album just released. Check it out and give it a rating and follow. Thank you to Emily Swan for our album art. More of her all over the internet at a swan named Emily. Want to send something to the studio and have me look at the P.O. Box? You could do so by sending things over at P.O. Box 3178, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania 17325. We'll open it up here on the show, and it will join the other items we've gotten on the shelf out in the lobby.
LizardTeats.com.
Lizard teats. That's what it was.
Lizard Teats.
Teats. T-E-E.
That's T-E-A-T-S is how you spell teats.
Well, that's how he put the website.
God
so
damn it,
it's
Jim.
Teats.
Like tweets without the W.
Yes.
Lizard.
Teats.com.
T-E-A.
LizardTeats.com.
Double E-T.
That's right.
I'll be in there for next week. .com. And as always,
When you journey through darkness to meet an eldritch being of unfathomable age and unknowable nature, get into a semantic debate with it.
It will hear you.
Scream botched, and we'll define you.
that sounds like the most Steve episode ever. We'll see you next week, nerds! All right, everyone, stick around. We're gonna piss around for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be back.
I'm going to eat a handful of pretzels.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk my way out of all the problems and convince people I'm not the monster they are.
That's not what happened.
I won't know. I'm never gonna listen to it.
Oh.
That is fair.
But there was a semantic debate.
But there was a
Of course there was.
All right.
Would you
Putting us on break. We'll be right
Hold on.
back. Oh, no.
Black Gary was here?
He was.
Black Gary was here.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is the place to be, he said.
Hold on. Let me just refresh chat.
And he's gone.
Probably.
He is.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's all right. I just miss Black Gary. That's all.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Big friend.
Old friend. All right, everyone. We'll be right back. We're going to chug some Bud Lights.
BRB.
Ooh.